Hi, so this is part 1 in a 2-part tutorial on vocal processing. So today I'm going to look at vocals and compression and EQ, and part 2 we'll look at reverbs and delays and stuff. So I've added some EQ and compression to all these videos. I'll just play it.
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose. One, if you ever saw him, you will even say it glows. Well, of the other reindeer.
Okay, so I'll just show you what I've done. So I'll turn off all the EQs to begin with and turn all these off. Okay, so just solo it and just show you this is dry.
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose. One, if you ever saw him.
Okay, so first off I've got a Modern Day Purple, which I'm using just to cut anything below about 100 Hertz. On this particular vocal there doesn't appear to be any noise or anything below 100. There might have been a high pass filter used while it was being tracked, I'm not sure. But I always just put it in. I'm just showing you because there's a lot of frequencies you don't want down there, such as like boominess, other noises, fan noise, rumble, all that kind of thing that just isn't useful for the vocal. Okay, so once that, and I've got that, and then going into a modern 7th sign. Now, this is based on an 1176, and the way I've got it set up is for quite a fast release and a fairly fast attack. Higher the number, the faster on this particular one. 4-to-1 ratio. And the idea is, in the verses, as I'll show you in here,
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose. One, if you ever saw him, you will even say it glows. Well, of the other reindeer used to laugh, I call them names. They never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games.
So in the verse it doesn't do a lot until towards the end when it gets a bit louder, just kind of on the peaks comes in a bit, but only, 1 dB of compression, not a lot. And then in the chorus it does do a fair bit of pumping, adding energy and flattening it out a little bit. So
then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to see.
So you can see it gets up to about -8 there. It's a bit hard to see on this VU meter, but I don't know how accurate it is. Look, that's the actual VU, so this is the voltage. So
Rudolph, with your nose so bright, what you got my slide tonight? Ha!
So I'll show you that. This is
then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to see. Rudolph, with your nose so bright, what you got my slide tonight?
So you can hear it just gives a bit more punch and energy to those. So if you listen really hard on the transients, you can tell. So
then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to see. Rudolph, with your nose so bright.
Just emphasizes all those words a bit more. Okay, next I'm running into a modern Los Angel, which is based on an LA2A. It's got a lot slower attack, and only the peak controls the compression, gain controls the overall volume after it compressed. This just smooths out the whole signal, so if I just play that again.
Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to see. Rudolph, with your nose so bright, what you got my slide tonight? Ha!
And so as you can hear now,
had a very shiny nose. One, if you ever saw him.
While the choruses are the same volume, the verse is a bit louder.
The red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny.
There's a volume difference between verse and chorus. aren't as exaggerated, which helps with this mix because there's not a lot of, while I want more energy going into the chorus, obviously it lets it sit better, and I can always use automation to bring that. And if the Los Angeles taking too much, I can just bring the peak down a bit, which I might do. And now for EQ, the EQ, I basically just add a little air to the top. So if you listen to the chorus, it's the easiest to hear.
Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to see Rudolph with your nose so bright, what you got my slide?
And a little low end boost here.
Then one foggy Christmas Eve,
And
Santa came to see.
So to the EQ, so that's about 920 hertz. That's really up in the air. So about 9,600. So it's really not frequency specific to the vocal, but just adds a little bit of high end. And so I'll just show you the chorus with everything off.
Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to see Rudolph with your nose so bright, what you got my slide tonight?
Okay, now I'll just leave that. Now here I've got a bit of a high harmony in the chorus, which just
Then one foggy Christmas Eve.
So what I've done, I've got a modern amplifier on fast, which provides a lot more of a smoothing compression. So listen here.
And one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came. One foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to see.
Similar to what the 1176 is, it's just a little more in your face here, just to do that.
Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to see.
And then for EQ, I've got a bit of a cut in the high mids here,
Then one foggy Christmas
so it doesn't interrupt the lead vocal too much.
Eve, Santa
Bit of a
came
boost
to
here.
see Rudolph with you now so bright. Then one foggy Christmas Eve.
Yeah, just a bit more aggression there. And we've also got the similar thing in the verse over here, second verse.
And if you ever saw him.
So I've just taken a bit out of the mids here, and similar, got a modern amplifier, but this time on slow. It's a bit smoother.
You will never say it glows. And if you
Because yeah, with a slow attack and release time, the initial transient comes in and smooths it after that. It gives it a bit more sustain, where here I've got more pumping going on in this track and this track with the 1176 and the fast on amplifier to give it more energy. Next, so these are all bust to this lead vocal, which I don't have anything on at the moment. So
foggy Christmas Eve, Santa.
And then I've got these choir here, so I'll just show you what they are like. And they're being bussed to this choir here, which has got all the processing on, so I'll just turn that off first. So I've got Lost Angel on here, just to smooth it out some more. So we got. And then EQ, I've got an air boost and a big cut in the mid, so it doesn't interrupt. So that's what's off. That way it sits back a lot more. So if we listen to the difference with the band.
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose. When have you ever saw him? You will never see it glow.
That way it doesn't get too in your face. And then we've got these backing vocals here, each which I've EQ'd to take that harshness. So it's about 4,600 here, 7,700. A bit low end boost here. done the same for all of them. They all have different frequencies depending on what the content is. So this one. And then this one. And then we'll go into a bus which has got compression on it and some more EQ. So without those compression and EQ, with just individuals like this. Or just the mono amplifier on fast. Really flattening it out. And the EQ. Should take that harsh off. Take out some of that mid-range, it's better. Take out some of the muddy frequencies here. And if we just listen to all the vocals then, and this chorus.
Games, then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, Rudolph with your nose so bright, what you got my slide tonight! Ha!
And I'll show you with the band all of that. Just the chorus at the moment. I'll show you from the verse.
The red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose. One, if you ever saw him, you will never say it glows. All of the other reindeer used to love, I call them names. They never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, Rudolph with your nose so bright, what you got my slide tonight! Ha!
Yep, so that's EQ and compression. And I've got the choir, as I said, it's got some here, background there, nothing on the lead vocals here. I may add a little limiting. This was just specific. I wanted to go for quite aggressive for this lead vocal. That's why I put the 1176. You could just use the Los Angel if you got a more smoother thing, which is an LA2A. All the software I've used and use in all my tutorials is Freeware. So anyone can use it as long as you've got a host that can use VSTs. Any DAW that uses VST is fine. Okay, I'll see you in part 2 for reverb and delays.